And that's what this is about. It's winning the relationship. And what today is about is once you originate a loan, you guys already know what to do, right? If you originate a loan, I don't need to teach you any part of this stuff. It's down here that makes the difference. Sheets. It's been 10 days since the nuclear holocaust, or the nuclear reactor disaster. Clay gives me the phrase, she says, hey, I'll tell you what. He goes, you go out and you deliver these flyers, and I'll give you $100 for every flyer you get from another company. I got those flyers. I went to my farthest office, and I just started going office to office and just putting flyers out. And I was looking for flyers, looking for flyers, looking for flyers. But since I was there, I put out flyers. I got through 23 of my 25 offices. I walked into Chili's. Clay's already at the bar, drinking his cocktails, turns and looks at me. And he says, how come your hands are empty? And I said, there's no flyers out there. So you don't owe me any money. Thought my world was over. He goes, let me buy you dinner. So he bought me dinner. We had some drinks. The next morning, I'm woken up to somebody pounding on my door. I open the door. It's my receptionist who had teased me about Tinkerbell making my car payment. She says, oh, good, you're alive. Clay says, if you're alive, get your butt in the office. I get to the office. I walk in, and Carol says, I don't know what you did yesterday, but your phone is ringing off the hook. She handed me a stack of receipts, of messages, and I just started returning calls. I spent that whole afternoon returning calls. The next day, rebooking my pipeline. And the loss that I realized was about $25,000 in today's dollar, but the lesson I learned was that I was no longer in the interest rate business, I was in the people business. And it's about building relationships. Because from that day on, I no longer sold interest rates. I sold relationships. And I developed the relationships, which is part of the book that I wrote, The Business of Gratitude. So one of the most important things about relationship is that there are some people we're meant to serve, and some people not so much. Does that make sense? Are there people around you that energize you and inspire you? Those are the people you want to do business with. Because when I started in this business, we went out and found borrowers. That was our job. We were hunter-gatherers. We are no longer hunter-gatherers. We have to attract people into our tribe. We have to attract people into our community. And one of the ways we're going to do that is to filter into the community. This doesn't work with just who you're doing business with. It works with who you're associating with, who your title rep is, who your wholesale reps are, who your escrow officers are, where you eat. All of those are part of you and your community. So before I became a loan officer, I was a tile setter. I paid my way through high school and college as a tile setter. I actually had a store in Los Gatos that the previous owner ended up moving back in, and that's what gave me my seed money to become a loan officer. But because I was afraid that I might not succeed as a loan officer, I continued to go to the Tile Setter Association meeting the third Thursday of every month. Now, the first time I showed up with a suit and tie on, they laughed their butts off and ribbed me and teased me, and then I continually showed up. The laughing stopped when I started getting them loans to buy homes. And that tile setter group became my first core group of people that I did loans for. And then the tile setters introduced me to the pipe fitters. And the pipe fitters introduced me to the electricians. And the electricians introduced me to the sheetrockers, and the tapers. And then I got to meet the foundation guys and the framers. And so what happened? The roofers and the sheet metal. This all morphed, but I focused on just tile setting because those are the people I knew their language. But once they got good, they trusted me, then they started referring me to other people. And that's what this is about. See, it's not just about the emotional issues. It's looking at the hobbies and interests and characteristics of the people you like. Now, one of the challenges that people have is that we think we have to do something. Have you ever told yourself you're on your way to, you have to drive this way. You have to go pick this up. You have to go do something else. How many of you had to come here today? You guys got to come here today, right? That's the gratitude mindset. I get to do this. See, I get up in the morning, I get to go find borrowers that have the desire to borrow money and the ability to repay it. Today, I get to be in front of you guys and share some ideas that even if just one of them takes hold and it helps you get an extra loan, and then you do it again and again and again, and then you get an extra loan next month and an extra loan next month and an extra loan next month, then you build consistency, you build cash flow, and you build more confidence.